Okay, now we're up to 6G, sketching graphs with vertical shift. So last time we did horizontal shift, and now we're going to do vertical shift, so adding it all together. If you'd like to draw this and press pause, I can just see the outline of a shape. So you don't need the shape yet, you just need, this is going from 1, -1, -2. This is pi, 2 pi, and we can go over these once you come back to me. Okay, so the first thing I've done here is looked at what the amplitude is. So there's a half out the front, and I've gone from 1 to -1 down to -2. Okay, so this time we're not going to look at the range as such, because I'm hoping you're sort of thinking about that in your head. There's nothing in front of the bracket, but so that means, of course, the period is 2 pi. That's why I have 2 pi in here. Now I'm going to go straight for the fact that it's a sine graph, and we're going to go up to a half. Okay, so a normal sine graph would go straight up here. So we're going to go halfway there and down to pi in the middle, and then we're going to go halfway underneath and up to 2 pi. So that is our half and our sine as it sits there. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go down 1. So the 0 is going to come down to -1. This is at 0.5, so we'll come down to -0.5. This will come down also to -1. This one will go down to -1.5, and this one will come down to -1. Okay, now you could have thought about the range, what I was just talking about then, and I will actually show you that. So the range is going to go from, you know the amplitude is a half. That means you go from negative and positive a half. Okay, and we're going to end up subtracting 1 from that. So if you'd like to start by doing it that way, so minus a half minus 1 is -1.5, and plus a half minus 1 is minus a half. So you should end up with the range being between -1.5 and -0.5. So we have the half drawn from the start. Then we've gone down 1, and I'll just do that softly as well here. Okay, so now we have taken into consideration the -1, and the last thing that we need to do is shift it to the right, pi on 3, which is what we did before with the first example. So from here, -1, if we add pi on 3, I've got the values up here, and we did do them before, so we're going to end up at pi on 3. The next one here is going to go to 5 pi on 6, which is about here. Then we've got this one, which is 4 pi on 3, same as last example, in the first one in 6G. And then this one over here is going to go to 11 pi on 6. And then finally, we're going to go to from 2 pi to 7 pi on 3. And then this will be our final graph. It's not very flowing and pretty, I'm afraid. It's just the angle I'm on with the camera. But hopefully you can see. And you want to make sure, obviously, that you have done one cycle, because that's what the question is asking you. Okay, next one, let's have a look at this one. So, once again, our amplitude out the front is 1, and our period this time is going to be 2 pi divided by 2 because of this 2. So our period is going to be P. Now, because our amplitude is 1, that means we will start from a plus and a minus 1, and we're going to end up adding 2 at the end. So that means our range is going to be between -1 plus 2, which is positive 1, and +1 plus 2, which is 3. So we are going to be ending up between 1 and 3. That's why I've drawn the way I have. Okay, so if you can see here, our period is pi. So I am going to put pi here, and I'm going to put pi on 2 here. And because I can see here this says plus pi on 4, it means we're going to go to the left. So I know what's going to happen. Some of us aren't sure what's going to happen, so I'm just going to put something to the left as well. Because this time I'm showing you that you can actually move into the left-hand side, of course. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is just draw the normal cos graph. So this is, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so our normal cos graph is going to go, excuse me, when I say normal except that, of course, we have already reduced the x line to the domain to pi instead of 2 pi at this stage. Okay, so from there, we've taken care of this. So now we're going to, actually this time let's go left, pi on 4, because it doesn't matter really how you do it. So pi on 4 is going to be halfway between pi on 2. So this value is going to go in between there. This one will hit our 0. Pi on 2 will go to here. This one's going to go through 0, and up here is going to be there. Now, if you want to keep drawing what you're getting each time, that's fine, as long as you're then showing us the correct answer at the end. So now we've done this part, and now all we have to do is go up 2. So we're going to go up 2 here. Okay, don't forget this point being negative pi on 4. So here we're going to go up 2. Here we're going to go up 2. Excuse me. Up 2. Up 2. Okay, so your final... Oh, goodness. Hope yours looks better than mine. Your final graph should be something like that. Okay. Now let's just check what we said before. We said the range should be 1 to 3, and our range is 1 to 3. And we're pretty confident the rest is correct. Okay. All right, let's have a look at the grid. I've left a bit of space there because I want to show you something in there. And then this is our grid down below, if you'd like to copy that, please. Just press pause. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at back up here is our amplitude. So our amplitude is 1 and our period is 2 pi. So standard graph to begin with. So if we fill in the values that we've got here, you'll see this will be 2 pi. This will be pi. Okay, and we'll go ahead and fill these into pi on 2 and 3 pi on 2. And our amplitude is 1, so I've put 1 there. But you can see from the question we're going to add 1 on the end, so that is why I've gone up 2 as well. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is to draw my normal sine graph, but this time I'm going to go up 1 straight away, okay, because I think you can all do that. So the normal sine graph would start here, of course, okay, but we're just going to start up here. If you need to draw the first one in, of course that's fine, all right, but if you can see I can draw a sine graph and add 1, then that's what we've done there. Okay, so we have done the +1, so the last remaining thing we need to do is move to the right by pi on 4. Now if we go from pi on 4 from each point that we have, we will go here and here, across and across. Now then we're going to join these up and we'll see what happens. So we've shifted the graph to the right by pi on 4. Now, this question is different because the other one said 1 cycle. So the first example, we went to the right. Second example, we ended up going to the left. This says that we have to have it between, so that domain is between 0 and 2 pi. Okay, and the problem that you're going to face now is that they're also going to ask you for these endpoints. All right, so we need to work out these two endpoints. So the first one we're going to work out is the y-intercept. And of course, for y-intercept, we let x equal 0. All right, so we're just going to put that into our formula. So we're going to have y equals sine 0 minus pi on 4 plus 1. All right, that's what we've got here. Okay, so this is going to become y equals sine of negative pi on 4 plus 1. Now, don't forget that's the same as negative sine pi on 4, or looking it up from our exact table's value, we're going to get negative 2 on 2, and we still have to